Tēnā tātou actually means be quiet in a nice, respectful way. First and foremost, welcome, but I'm going to leave that to Tapunga Nepe. But today, what I'm going to ask as everyone is just housekeeping rules. In a case of emergency, the way you came in is the way you go out. But you know you've got to do it in fashion and order and be nice and be polite as we go out if there's an emergency. No doubt these staff around will guide us. Please be mindful of our pakeke and our tamariki. Koina noiho. So through there, the way you came in is our emergency exit. Ahakua, marangai, ahakua te aha. If we can all stay together and be safe, look after one another. Whakahaungia te rongo pai runga i te nāwari me te aroha. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, ka hoatu te rākau ki tō tātou minita i te pōne.
Kia ino i tātou. He hōnore he kroria ki te atua, he maunga rongo ki te whenua, he whakaro pai ki ngā tāngata katoa āmini. E iho e tō mātou atu e te kai whakaora, anei rā mātou pononga ka tuku whakamoimiti atu nei ki a koe. Mātou i oho moata te ata nei, ki te takahi mai, te huarahi nei, kia karakia hia ngā taonga i roto i tēnei whakāturanga, Hohou, Waerenga-a-Hika, Hohou te Rongo. Kua hikina te tapu i runga i enei o ngā taonga i te ata tonu nei, kua puare ki te hāpori o tūranga nui a kiwa, ngā iwi katoa te tai rāwhiti, kua tatu mai nei, wa tātou tamariki mokopuna tai atu ki wa tātou pakeke, tātou katoa e noho tahi nei ki te whakanui, ki te whakaora i enei o ngā kōrero tuku iho ngā mātua tīpuna e tō mātou atua. Kia tau iho manakitanga ki runga i o mātou haerenga atu me o mātou hokinga mai. Whakatapua ngā noho puku karanga he hui ngā nui. Whakaminea mai ngā kaumātua, ngā tāngata katoa te whenua ki te whare o ihoa o tō tātou atua. Ka karanga atu kia ihoa ka rite hoki tōna putanga mai ki te whakangaro manga te kaharawa. Engari ka noho puku koe. Ka kauria tau poko horoia hoki tau kanohi. Tuku atu ngā mamai me ngā tangi ki tau matua a māna e whakamana mai. A mahaura i hoa e whakatūwheratia mai ki a mātou ngā huarahi o te tika te ora te pono te kaha me te māramatanga. Ma mātou koe e whakamoimiti e whakakroria ki tō ingoa tapu. Āmine. Āmine. Kia ora tātou.
Pine te kura hau, te kura whanake, te kura iraro i awarua. Ko te kura nui, ko te kura roa, ko te kura nātū haipo. Tēnei te tira hau, tēnei hara mai nei, nā te rongo pai, nā te rangi mārie. Hei ka māroha mai, he whakapākehatanga pia tēnei o ngā kōrero i tēnei ata. He anō, e ngā mana e ngā reo rauranga tira mā, nau mai haere mai. Nau mai haere mai ki tō tātou whare taonga, ki te whare taonga o te tai rāwhiti. O tira ia ki te whakatūwheratanga, o tō tātou whakakitenga o hou te rongo. He whakamaharatanga ko tahirau ono te kautau ki muri mo te parekura nui ki roto ki Waerenga-a-Hika. I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge our exhibition leads, Tai, Rina, Kerekere and Nick Tupara, alongside the artists, Ringatoi and everyone who supported this exhibition. I also want to acknowledge all our taonga lenders and everyone who contributed to bringing this exhibition together. With the support of Te Aitanga Mahaki, Trust Tai Rāwhiti and Te Runanga o Tūranga Nui Ākiwa, I'd also like to acknowledge Tūranga FM for capturing today's events. Tēnei rā te mihi nui ki a koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Tai Rāwhiti Museum and our staff who have worked alongside the exhibition leads have had the privilege of supporting this kaupapa and ensuring its aspirations were upheld. Another significant aspect of this exhibition was the opportunity to have the tiko tiko kōruru associated with Te Poho Rāwiri back, not only for this exhibition, but more importantly back to the marae for an overnight stay before being installed into the exhibition. He whakatīnanatanga tēnei e hika mā i te mana taonga. He huarahi whakakotahi i a tātou o te tai rāwhiti. I would like to acknowledge MTG Hawke's Bay for enabling this to happen and also acknowledge Auntie Charlotte and the whānau of Te Poho Rāwiri, tēnei te mihi nui, mihi aroha ki a koutou. Although this history Surrounding Waerenga-a-Hika is complex. The exhibition theme, Hohou te Rongo, draws on the waiata pine pine te kura by te kōti rikirangi. Small is the treasure but renowned. It reminds us that our young people carry the mana of their ancestors and shape the future through faith, humility and aroha. Hei ngā kōrero anō, ki mihia e te iwi te ara o te tikanga, I pai ai te noho I te ao nei. You, the people, seek the path of righteousness that we may live peacefully in this world. Nō reira hikama, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Pine pine te kura, te kura, whanake te kura, e raro I awaru. Ko te kura nui, ko te kura roa, ko te kura mātu hai pō. Tēnei te tiraha, tēnei hara mai nei, nā te rongo pā, nā te rangi mari, e nau mai ka haere tau, ki roto tūranga, kia whakangungu a koe, ki te mini, ki te hoi, ki te puri, huri ngara, kōko huru a te pāke hai, ka kotone. Piki ake ka ke ake, I te toe hua rewa, ke ara o e noka, I piki ai ki runga, I roko he ngā tura, mai kupu mākaka, mai te aroha, he waha I pāmai, kaku wahi ne purotu, taku tā ne purotu, warua ko te tahue. Wahi a ka te ake, I te toi hua rewa, ke ara o e noka, I piki ai ki runga, I roko hi ngā tura, mai kuku mākaka, mai a te aroha, e waha I whamai. Wahi ne purotu, taku tā ne purotu, ko te tarue. Whakapake te ture, I te kinga toa, no rungara wa koe, no te mana puini e ture, ngara ritu koe, nā te kotahitanga na tānera wa koe, nā pure tawhiti, nuku wati hika hika, te kauati a tōti punara, I haerea, I tere inuia, hika tana, hiki pihia te iwi, te ana te tikanga, I pai ai te noho I te ane. Kei tūranga nui, hanga tāpu, he patu I te taumata kia mate, mo te maunga, wano ki ai haere ki ngā ki a te kaua. O patua moku anake. O tūranga te matenga o mahaki. Te rongo pati pati I mā taki taki nai. O ia hipa mā taki taki ki te ke mai koe. Ina ina hine. Ai o maha. O koe wi Waerenga-a-Hika. Mai koe me haka wa moi e hapu ana paia. Koe no ki whara pauri. Mai au ki ro te wai. Wana ko whare o maonga. O te waho te kawa. E ka mai ina ia te ka. Ui aki utara. Hei tia. Tunua hei te manawa. Pakai ngā kāpa. Mōkora timu timu. O au kai a te rire pokonoa. Piro ka kai ki te whakama ki te maua. Me whakarere atu e ngā mahikino e hita mai. Tēnā tātou, ko pau te hau. Kia ora whānau. They told me I had to prepare for a speech, but I never prepare for speeches. I just go off the cuff, and if I miss things, I miss things. So be it. My papa taught me that. If you speak from your heart, then everybody knows you're true. So, first of all, I've got to thank Tapunga and the museum staff here. There's not many places that you can go to and they allow you to express a dream. Some of the dream has come true. Some of them fell away as we were working through this exhibition. There were other taonga that we wanted to bring back home. But the powers to be in charge of those museums, and I'll say Te Papa and the Auckland Dominion Museum, and that's them still trying to control us. Waerenga-a-Hika. It's such a big story to tell. I think one of the main themes that came through when we were talking through what this exhibition might look like. There's a lot of us, or a lot of family that have got their own kōrero. There's a lot of public kōrero too, but 95% of it is actually written by non-Māori. So the concept was to come around trying to develop something that our whānau can tell their stories, their little micro stories that were a part of Waerenga-a-Hika. This exhibition is not about who was there and who was on which side and who to point to. For me, our rangatira at that time, when they made decisions for their whānau hapu iwi. Right or wrong, in history, for me it doesn't matter, because at that time
And at that space, I wasn't there. So all I could think is say, and this is my only opinion, is what their decisions that they made, whether which side they were standing on, it was for their people to survive. So I'm going to leave that at that. I'm not going to carry on what happened at Waerenga-a-Hika or things like that. That's up to you guys. This exhibition is to awaken you to stories that are told by family, and to do your own research, because as we're going through some research that me and my wife were going through about different kōrero that was happening, like Pledge of Allegiance to the Crown and all that, you'll be amazed on how many people signed that. And we could have shown that, but that was a time that gone by. So this is about us reconnecting, hapu, whānau, iwi, reconnecting. This is what this exhibition's about. I invited 3 schools to be a part of this exhibition. Actually, I wanted all of Tūranga schools to be a part of it, but no one would give me any money. Oh shit, did I say that loudly? I'll say it again, no one gave me any money except, but we did apply through Tairawhiti Trust, and I must say they came through to help us set up the exhibition. But at that time, yeah, I'm just thankful that they did. And I've got to say, thank you to them, to the Tairawhiti Trust, because they helped fund quite a little bit of the stuff to sort out, that we needed to sort out for the exhibition. I'm not going to talk about the schools because I'm going to get Henry later on to talk about the schools and the kids to talk. The concept was tell them a story about Waerenga-a-Hika and let them be them. And what I mean by let them be them, I mean by let them be the dreamers. Because when you get older, your dreams start fading away because people start picking at you and start blocking you in your dreams that you want to do. And I'm saying this because we say to our kids, be the dreamers, you can be anything. But when you get to adults and you start telling people your dreams, they want to pull you down or they want to block your pathway because their dreams are not being met. I've got to thank all the artists that are part of this, and these artists, they tell the story of their whānaus and their stories in their own way and what they thought about Waerenga-a-Hika. These artists come from Ngāti Porou, Hauiti, Whānau Apanui, Ngāi Tamiri, Rongo Whakaata, Whānau Akai, Ngāi Riki Putai, Mahaki. And I've kept it, I would have liked a whole lot of artists, but I've selected certain artists because of their whakapapa they tie into. And some of them actually cross, where I had to speak to one, they go, no, I don't know how to tell a story. And I was going, well, your Ngāti Porou and your Mahaki, which story are you going to tell your kids? Which side are you going to tell them? He goes, oh, I can't because they're both. And I was going, well, then tell them both stories. Both sides. Let them to decide. Be honest. So the exhibition is around taonga that we've got back. That's our past. To be aware of what happened at Waerenga, you've got to be aware of what happened before Waerenga and what was happening in the times at that time. That's your homework. Then we've got today. That's the artists of today that are in this exhibition. They speak of today and they speak of their stories and them. Then we've got our dreamers, our kids. The cool part about it, I was hands off, all the artists were hands off the kids. It was tell them the story. Here's your piece of work, your little square piece that we want a piece of artwork, and they just produce what they produced. And you'll see in there, and this is just a selection of each school, because we couldn't put the whole school in there, the whole three couldn't, so we've selected so many out of it. Apart from one school wanted to add some other art pieces. Yeah, whara tutu. But when I saw them, I could not have them. I had to put them up as soon as I saw them, and you'll see that. I don't want to carry on because it's stuck is boring. I want the kids to have a kōrero. But for me, whānau, it's about, we're living in a times where what's happening today, especially in the parliament and certain parties, that's what was happening 160 years ago. It hasn't changed. You know, we move forward, we go about 20 steps forward, and then we go back 25. Because we can't work together. Our people, we can't work together. That's why I'm saying, let the dreamers be dreamers. Let them support them. Instead of going, how about saying, what do you need? What do you need to do to get to your dream? That's what we need to do. My dream is to see, before I pass away, is that we've got a Māori Prime Minister. That's my dream. But there's a long way to go. There's steps, there's micro steps. Everybody's got to have micro steps. And today, our kids are our micro steps for the future. They're going to be carrying on the kaupapa of Waerenga-a-Hika and telling the stories. Those are the micro steps. The micro steps are to our whānau. When it comes to elections, I don't care who you vote for, but vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for, but vote. Have a say. So kia ora everybody. I'm going to hand it over. Maha.
Tēnā tātou. My job tonight, I believe, is to talk about the taonga. And when you go through there, you'll see there's a mixture of contemporary artists, our tamariki mokapuna's work, and taonga. And the taonga aren't just on one side, they're sprinkled all the way through. Because the past and the present are the same thing for us. And talking about the past and the present, I'd like to just mention one of those taonga. Tāpunga mentioned other ones in his little kōrero. I'd like to mention a tīpuna called a Tukuri Tarangi. And I want to talk about her because nobody knows her. She was Rawiri Teke's cousin. She'll have a taumo marriage to one of the very first settlers here, John Harris. And we're privileged to have their mokapunas here tonight. And it's with their support that we have her whakaaro, her wānanga in the exhibition. Is in the form of a whakapapa book written by her son, Eruera, and his son. At her time, she'll stand on the river bank of the Tūranganui when the gunships arrive in the bay. And when they begin to unload the weapons, the cannons, the ammunition, and the soldiers, she'll stand over in Kaiti and witness that. And then her husband, John Harris, they will commandeer Tukura i te rangi is a type of flax. It's a wānanga for weaving, and that's who this tipuna was. And her kupu, her wānanga is written in a whakapapa book in the exhibition. So stop and feel a sense of the tohungatanga that was hopeful that her sons, her mokapuna would have a life mixed with all the anxieties and instabilities that comes with colonisation. And the only koha that she could leave for her children and for her mokapunas was her whakapapa. The other part of her name is Amaru Arangi, which is our tairawhiti name for the ratawai. And the ratawai grows up to the tops of the canopy, and in her case, all the way to Ranginui. And those whakapapas stretch back from her time, all the way back through our tipuna, through our waka, through to Māui, through to Rangi and Papa. But they also, this vine goes horizontally as well. It grows along the whenua, and it connects kahununu, mai tā manuhiri, Rongo whakaata, taitanga maki, whanau kai, ngā ariki kai pūtai, te whakatohia. Ngā te awa even, tūhora even. Paraurangi, haueti, ngā te onioni, together. And for me, that taonga, as all good taonga do, speaks to our connectiveness rather than our division. And this koha is what this tipuna decided, this is what I can leave for my mokapunas, in the hope that whatever colonisation brings, they will stay together. And certainly today we have been tested. Foreshore seabed has tested us, is still testing us. But if we go back and look at those taonga and wānanga with those taonga, then we can start to realise Hamuruarangi still exists in us. The ratawai that grows from the whenua to Ranginui, Papa Tuanuku, Ranginui ki runga. That's who we are. Kia ora tātou.
Ki
Kia ora tātou. Could I please just start off with a few things before I get our students up? My name is Henare Tahuri, I teach out at Te Karaki Area School. I heard Tai say, tell them the stories of their fatal moment back 160 years ago at Waerenga-a-Hika. And let the artists paint, carve and weave their thoughts for the viewer to get a glimpse inside the creative minds of our storytellers. The instruction that Tai gave last year was, bro, I want our kids to be a part of the Waerenga-a-Hika commemorations, and I'd like them to be a part of the exhibition. And he had grandeur visions of flags and everything. He just had this big, huge picture. And I could see it on, I'm in there, bro, we're in, let's get started. This was last year. And he said, just hold up, bro, hold up, we've got to take it back to committee. Always got to go back to the committee. And he come back and goes, bro, you know, after a few weeks in that, I said, bro, we're ready, hold on, bro, hold on. Anyway, got to a point, he goes, bro, I've been moved out of the lane and I've got to stay in my lane. And his lane was, I think, the setup. But he was also involved with the exhibition. So he wanted a full-on Tūranga Nui Ākiwa schools, Tairāwhiti schools, to be a part of an exhibition of some sorts. He's already given, there's no putea, but we managed to get in 3 kura. So aroha nui, kia koutou ngā kura atu i te tokotoru i tae mai tēnei pō. This is the instruction that he gave me, brother. 300 by 300. If you're an artist, you'll know that. It means 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters. And if you go back to our school days, if you look at a 30 centimeter ruler, you see that's the size, my bro, there. And every kid is to do one of those, a square. He says, oh, kapai. Then I'm walking away, and then he goes, oh, and the other part too, my bro, get them just to tilt it a bit so that it's on a diamond. And I'm thinking, this fella's talking about Te Cortes diamond, I'm sure of it. So that's the instruction that he gave. So I was just like, man, I know what it's like as a teacher at the end of the year and heading into November, and if you're part of a school, everything's just full on and we're trying to cram everything in, assessments and everything. And I just said, bro, we've got our matariki hautapu happening in this, our second year at Te Karaki Area School. We're going to have a Waerenga-a-Hika exhibition, make it a bit easier for ourselves. So we started off, Te Karaki Area School started it off with our exhibition, and we put it in the hall. It's there forever. We've just taken a few and put it into this show as an installation with the other 2 kura. We were first off the blocks. The second school I was just like thinking for ourselves, I'm like, no, I'm going to get a head start on this and just get in there. And then we had some leftover diamonds. Because when you're an artist and you're cutting like 100, 200 diamonds, you want to make sure that you've got enough for some of our kids that want to start again. They'll go and draw a picture, scrunch it up and throw it in the rubbish, draw another one, and Matu, have you got another one? Have you got another one? Anyway, we did heaps. And then as soon as we were done, Tai was at our hautapu in Matariki, and he says, bro, who's the tumuaki over at Whatatutu? And I said, koko pare, why is that? Get them involved too. So I got all the rest of our diamonds and shot over there straight after we had finished cleaning up. I said, koko pare, here's your fellas' diamonds. What are they for? They're for an awek. I don't know. They're for Waerenga-a-Hika. We're going to get ourselves ready. And so they got in too. And then we had a few more, only a few. And he says, I've already spoken to cousin Ana at Patutahi. Go and give them some diamonds too. So we took over and gave them about 5 and said, you've got to work out the rest. So they got started. So we just got in there, just got started on these diamonds. So he mihi nui kia Tai. Because I know that Tai had to sit in committee when you're wanting to try and exhibit student kids' work in an exhibition or in a space like this. We have got high-profile artists
and museum pieces here, that it is a bit of a huge ask. And I know that Tai would be fighting there for the kids. That's why he asked them to come and sit up the front over here. If you don't mind, he didn't want our kids to be left in the back. So he mihi nui tēnei kia Tai. You know, he's got a momo, but he's a teddy bear. He's a teddy bear, mate. He's a big teddy bear. And if you see him you know him. And all that, and I'll follow their whale anywhere, because I know he's going to get it done. So that's why I said, brother, we got these, and we take care of the kura, and we're in there. So I'm going to mihi to Tai, and to Rina, and to the brother Hiwi, that was in there, and everyone else that came in to put up the show. I'm going to get our students up. Koutou, the ones that are speaking, can you come up now, please? So we've got Te Karaki Area School, Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Whātātutu, and Patutahi. Ara mai. We've got a whole lot of artists there, but these are the ones that are going to speak to us at this time. DJ.
Kia ora, my name is Dawn Jasmine, and I was one of the artists who got chosen. It is really an honour to be here, and for my work to be put in the museum. I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to talk about my 3 pieces, which we will later see on the other side. But I wanted to talk about what they represent to me and what they mean. So I thought about the British, our ancestors, and what had happened back then. So most of my 3 artboards were mostly based around Te Koti and what had happened back then. And all of them tell a story. They have writing on there that even explains more. And to me, each individual piece just really means a lot, as in emotionally and physically, or all that. But I would also like to give a big thank you to Matua Tai and Matua Hinare for making this happen. It's really exciting for me to be here and to just present my work to everyone. And that's all I have to say so far, but I'll probably have more to say when I actually get to see my artwork. So if you see any writing on any of the boards and you want to know more, just come and find me. I'm not that hard to spot. And I can tell you more about it. Thank you.
DJ was fortunate enough to get 3 pieces in. So in our kura, the way that we selected is that I allowed the teachers to select their students, because we've got, in our hall, we've got them from babies right up. And some of our babies are here that did them, and their teachers said, we'll go half and half. So if you see you've got to lean your head, they sort of did it on a square, not a diamond. So you just got to diamond yourself like this. So DJ is a speaker for our Te Karaki Area School. We're going to go to Patutahi.
Kia ora te whānau. As a small kura, we are extremely honoured as a kura to feature 8 art pieces in this exhibition. All of these artworks were created together by a whole kura tamariki from years 8 to 0. Each contributed to these pieces. We began by making abstract backgrounds by using different colours to express our thoughts and feelings about the tragedy that took place at Waerenga-a-Hika. Us tamariki then added short phrases, keywords, symbols and props to share the important facts we discovered during our research and to bring deeper meaning to each artwork.
Do you know when you go to any Māori organisation or a kura, not everyone follows the rules and listens to the plan. You got a nice big plan, but they don't really follow it. So I went over to Whātātutu, and I can say this because I'm married into Mangatu, and went there and to pick up their diamonds, and they said, "Oh, Matua, we also got these." They wanted to put some extra stuff into the exhibition. Then I was like, oh, Koko, I'm here to pick up the diamonds and they got to be on their board and they got to be 300 by 300, but I'll take this and I'll let our curator have a look and see what he, because I'm with Ty and I know Ty. He'll say, bro, these are the instructions, stick to the instructions. So we brought the stuff in and I said, oh, by the way, bro, there's some other things in their box from Whataatutu. And he goes, oh, give me a look. He had a look at these flags and he says, I actually like these. Oh, what are they? Pennants. There you go. Some pennants. I thought they were actually maro. But you go and have a look at them. You have a look at them. And they made it into the exhibition. That's Whataatutu just doing their thing. Kia ora. So I'm going to get, we've got 3 speakers from Whataatutu. Kia koutou.
Kia ora whānau, ko Rāwhina Pīmia Hikansa he uri no, he tauira no te kura kaupapa Māori o Whātātutu. Ko te whakaaro mō taku mahi toi, i te timatanga karekau he mahi anake, engari i te wā ka hoki atu ki ngā mahi he ki te ki Waenganui he hok mō Māui, mō taku whakaaro, i ngā wā katoa ka kōrero aku oku karaua, he hanariki a Māui tinihanga, nō reira ko taku whakaaro mō te hok, ko te whakaaro o ngā tauiwi ko ngā Māori orite. He kore mōhio, he he hoha rātou. Engari, kare pai te whakaaro. Me ngā mō taku mahi he maunga nui, me he karawhiro mō te toto o tātou tipuna, mō mātou tipuna. Ko te whakaaro nui mō aku mahi, kua maumahara nā tikanga, ka mōhio nā ko rātou te mana kia mātou, ko hoatu te mana kia mātou. Nō reira, kia miharo o tātou nei rā.
Tēnā koutou, ko Sky Moahau, no te kura kaupapa Māori o Whātātutu, ko te kaupapa o tōku toi, he o Waerenga-a-Hika, te toa tahi o tōku mahi kore mōhio au, te kaupapa o Waerenga-a-Hika, and ko te mahi o te taho o tōku kaiako, ko ka ipera, ka tuhi I roto i te rorohiko, tō mōhiotanga o Waerenga-a-Hika, and koe he, I was left with nothing because I didn't know what Waerenga-a-Hika was. And my tōku toi, he tētahi pūtakawa, ko te tikanga o tērā, ko te pūtakawa, te whetū, engari nā te mea, ka tuku nā mate ka tuku nā mate o Waerenga-a-Hika, me te tikanga o te ingoa I roto I tōku pikitia, ko manu kokoa, tērā te tipuna o Hene te ariki, and hene te ariki he tino, he mereikura, and he tipuna o koko ariki, te taho o Puha Bridge. Ai tērā te tikanga o tōku pikitia, kia rā, ko pai koutou rā.
Tēnā rā tātou, ko ikai te mea koe prae mahau, he uri no tūhoi no mga tū, he tauira no te kura kaupapa Māori o whatatutu. Ko te kaupapa kōrero o tōku mahinga toi, ki runga i tōku pikitea, ko ngā whetū, te pai mahutanga, ko te ingoa Pākehā o era te Southern Cross, ko era te whetū, ngā whetū ko era ngā whetū he ara tohu mō ngā waka I heke mai Hawaii. Ko te maumahara I nohia au. He ke raro ko te ingoa o Hine Te Ariki. Me rongo tātou I te mamai nā te matinga o ana mahanga. Te mamai pia I roto I te pā I te wā pakanga ki Waerenga-a-Hika. Te tangi mō te atea, te haihai o te manawa me te ngarohanga o te tangata. He ke raro, he inoi, ko whanga atua he rite mō ihoa, ko whai o ngā tamariki a te tangata he pēra me ihoa, te tika mō reira. Ko tērā he whakamaumahara mō au ki te kore e ngaro I te whakapono ki roto I ahau. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Koira ngā whakaaro, ngā kupu, kōrero, o e nei nā ngā tamariki, moko puna o tātou. E re ho mai anō rā te pīki paki mō e nei tamariki. A lot of the times when we're teaching our students, you know, they'll say at the start, Matua, I don't even know about this. That's why we're learning. That's why you're researching. So the more we acknowledge these unfortunate events, the better our understanding and learnings for us in the choices and decisions that we face presently as good tiriti partners, upholding the mana of te kotahitanga and whānau. Could I just finish off by sharing this with you? This is another moment when you go to I was going to say kura, but I think it's just Māori. When you go to Māori and you say, we need some diamonds kapai, that's easy. And I says to Tai, how many, bro? How many should we get from the kura? And he goes, oh, you know. And I said, how about 12? 12's a beautiful number. The 12th, jerk, that's a beautiful number. So we started getting on this bit of a wairua journey. Okay, bro, let's go 12. 12 from each of the schools. How many schools? 3. Oh, te toko toru tapu. Man, look at that. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost on the 12th. That's us, brother. Okay, you've got to go and have a checkup, before you go on the day and pick up, because you know, someone go, oh, I didn't know it was this date, or I didn't know the number. So you go and have a check. I think it's called a recce. You just go and suss it out. So you go a couple of weeks before the due date, and go to whatatutu, and they go, oh, matua, we got 15. Oh, cool. We got some extras. We see 12, but that's cool. That's cool. 15 is a good number too. So he said, and I see them on the wall, and I'm like, ka pai, te raka, we got more than 12. We've got a whole hall full. We got 130. Actually, 140. Anyway, we're covered, and I go to Patutei, and I don't get to see them, but Koka Kazi, Anna, she's like, we got the matua. We got 12 ka pai. While on the day, you rock up, and I've got, and even TK, we didn't follow instructions. I knew just to take 12, but I was like, oh, actually like a couple more here, so we took 14, just in case. And one of them was a kaioko. I didn't really know, but I did, and it was a kaioko, kaiawhina. Anyway, 14 we had. Rock up to whatatutu. Fellas got your 12 or your 15? Matua, we've got 7. Oh, you blooming Māoris. Don't follow those instructions. So they give us 7, I think it is. I think the number's round about that. And so I go to Patutei and Anna pulls me up. She goes, Matu, you said Wednesday, because I got there Tuesday. I said, you're all right. Would you like Thursday? Yes, please. We'll have Thursday. So I gave them a bit more time. And then when I went to pick them up, they had 7-2, and I was like, you don't know, I was listening to our vision of 12th, the 12th, and the Tokoturu Tapu. Anyway, we grab it, we come in, and Tai is saying, I'm going to put it as an installation, all together as one artwork, kapai, we got that. Now, he wasn't too sure if he was going to do a symbol of te koti, like the W or the heart, so he chose the ripeka, the cross. So he gets it and he goes, here, brother, put him up, cross. And he goes, just one at a time, sweet. He goes off and gets some tape. By the time he gets back, he goes, brother, double it up. 2 lines this way. And you'll see it when you go in. You know what happens? That's 7 or 8 from this school, and that's 7 from that school, and they're 14 from our school. We all had the exact number that was needed for the cross. How does that happen? How does that happen? Hey, only a Māori can make that happen. After all the raru, the piki, the heke, all of that stuff, at the end of it, right at the end, it's all good. It's all good. Nā reira e hoa mā, he piki mihi kia koutou katoa. Koutou ngā mātua i hara mai ki te tautoko o tamariki, i te pōnei. Nei rā te mihi nui kia koutou. Just going to say, Kōkera Renee said, Matua, remind them that TK goes to Waerenga-a-Hika every year, not just on the big one, on the 160. We go there every year. So if you don't see our name on that list of going to the government for the old Tānia Waikato thing, ara, we live it. We don't need a sign to say the government that we support. Te tiriti, we live it. Just like Patatutu, just like Patutai, like all of our kura and the tūranga tairawhiti, throughout Māoridom. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tata. Hai toto, kotu heke nā korona heke nā ki te ngā kaua atu. Utai nā toku kawanei, he kaua tua maunga. Kawewiri kawa wana tāra patatu ki te rangi aueki. Whana, hau mai te toki, hau mie. Ko taku kōrero whakamutunga, when you go in there, you're going to see a chair. It's the sovereign chair. All right? There's got no sign there to not sit on it, but please do not sit on it, because my wife will be saying, I told you fellas to do a sign, say don't sit on the sovereign chair unless you're ngā wai hono i te pō. Kia ora tātou.
Ho mai rā te paki mā ngā tamariki nei. I don't know about matua henare anyway. Tēnā koutou o tira, ko te ngā whānau, ko tā koha mai rā koutou wā koutou taonga, ki tō tātou whakakitenga i te rānei. O tira ngā marama kei te tūtonu mai, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I'm just an explainer, so I'm just going to explain what's happening now. Thank you to Tai and Rena and all the installers and Nick koutou. Kua hāpai nei tēnei kaupapa, tēnā rawātu koutou. Kua whakakotahi mai nei a tātou e te tairāwhiti. Nō reira, tēnā koutou. So what's happening now, before I hand it over to our Papa Morehu to close up our evening tonight, just some... this morning we had our taki karakia this morning, so enabling us to enjoy the viewing following the karakia. We're going to ask our pakeke, our kaumātu, our kuia and koroua to go through first. followed by our tamariki mokopuna, and then everybody else, just to manage our crowd so we are safe going through the galleries this evening. But if you were here this morning and, no, I've already seen the exhibition. Anywho, the cup of tea and the kai stalls are all ready. Kaumatua pakeke in the education room. Please staff, if you see an elderly lost soul in the museum, they can have a night at the museum. But please, staff, can you guide them to a cup of tea? That's what I was trying to get at. But otherwise, please, can we ask the kaumatua after karakia? And there's, like Māori, as always, we always improvise. And we're going to draw the raffle that Tai and Rena has organised. So don't listen to what I've just said.
Tēnā tātou te whānau aroha mai. So as you would have remembered, we did a haerenga to Seattle. Tai designed a blanket, which you'll see in there. And we had a competition, so the first 10 comments on the Facebook page, on Te Aitanga Mahiki Facebook page, went into the draw to win one of the blankets. They're all sold out, so you can't get one, so they're priced. Alright, so these are the first 10 names that had the correct answer. And then one of the nannies will draw out the name from in the kete. Naomi Thompson, George Clark, Terina Lemon, Tārere Pātutua, Jasmine Ruru, Jade Davis Nepe, Cherie Stevens, Arahia Poi, Spongy Harvey and Candice Keelan. So all their names are in this kete. So whoever gets drawn out, they will win one of the blankets.
Spongy. I'll just talk about it. So, we had some issues with a lot of people when they were going, why are you going overseas to get these blankets done? I'm going to tell you now. They're an Indigenous company, from the CEO to the guy that's packing them and sending them over. 2, they work with artists. It's not about making money, they work with artists to make designs and then they collaborate together to bring out a product, and the artist benefits and the Indigenous company, which is 8Gen. And so they've been doing this for a few years now. And Tāwera, Henry, they've actually designed blankets for different gatherings, art gatherings, and so it's not a new thing. So the blanket for me is, I wanted to create something that will commemorate Waerenga-a-Hika. There's an old photo, and when I saw it, and it was our nannies that were getting prepared to get shipped off over to Wharekauhi, and sitting on the banks of the moana, and they're all there, and they're shrouded with blankets to keep them warm before they think. Hence why the blanket. Now the design on the blanket. You'll see vertical and horizontal lines that are running through this blanket. That represents our whakapapa to the whenua. That's our connection, our bloodlines. So you'll see different colours of vertical and horizontal lines, and that's the connection back to our whenua. The Neo Taniwha designs that you'll see running through the bottom there, the grey ones, they represent all our nannies that were shipped off to Wharekautere. The red Neo Taniwha design represents the ones that were killed. The dark grey and the dark red, the blood stain that was left on our whenua. That's what those two colours represent. Yeah. So that's the blanket whānau, and that's the commemoration blanket. We only did a few. I didn't think it'll kick off that well, but I had to fund it myself. Just saying that again, whānau. So when people say, oh, you ran out, and I didn't expect to run out in 3 hours. We put it on the post, and then I thought I'll check the post, because I thought it'll take, a few weeks for all the blankets to sell. Hopefully, that was me, hopefully. And then I went, I'm heading to a meeting. I'm heading into town to Gizzy. So I'll check the emails just to see how we're going, tracking how we're going. And we had 5 left. And I had to push, cancel, sold out, blah, 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 before I had to make some more blankets to cover the cost for the ones that said they're going to buy a blanket. So I'm thankful. Yeah. And I was amazed. Within 3 hours, we had sold out the whole blankets that we got made up. So kia ora whānau. So this company's 8th generation. If you want to look them up, you'll see them. Apart from that, they did a photo shoot when they got them made, and they did a photo shoot in Santa Fe with all their other blankets. And the native, because it was a native fashion show, the native fashion group that was doing all that going, ooh, what's this about? And then the company, their what do you call it, their PR person just told the story about it, and they were just blown away by it. And they were going, oh, where can we get ours? And they just went, no, it's strictly for this iwi that's in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So, kia ora everybody. Congratulations, cousin.
She's getting married in 3 weeks, so she gets a wedding present from her.
Are we ready to go? Yep.
Ka pai, kia ora tātou. Tuatahi, ka mihi ki wā tātou tamariki mokopuna. Ho mai te pakipaki. Tuarua ki ngā ringa toi, ho mai te pakipaki. Me te mihi whakamutunga ki te whare nei, te whare taonga o te tai rāwhiti. Ho mai te pakipaki. Ngā ringa me ngā waiwai o tēnei whare e whakatūtuki i te whakatūtanga o te whakakitenga nei, ka nui rā te mihi atu kia koutou. He nui ngā mahi i roto i ngā wiki, i ngā rangi, kua tātu nei, kia tū mai, te whakakitenga nei, hahau te rongo, kia kite e te katoa. O reira, o rere atu taku. That must be a sign, hurry up with the karaki. Ka mihi kia tātou kua huitahi nei, tātou e whakarongo nei ki ngā kōrero a o tātou tamariki mokopuna, kua puia mai te aroha moenei o ngā kaupapa i roto i o rātou whatu manawa. No reira, kei ngā pakeke, kui mā koroma, tainoa ki wā tātou tamariki e tipu haere nei runga i te mato o te whenua. Tēnā koutou, kia rakaraka hia tō tātou hui. E iho e tō mātou atu e te kai whakaora, anei rā mātou pononga ka tuku whakamoimiti atu nei ki a koe. Mo ngā manaakitanga kua uhia mai ki runga i a mātou ngā rākua taha atu nei, a tainoa mai ki tēnei pō tau whakawāhinga i a mātou. Mā haurā iho e whakatūwheretia mai ki a mātou ngā huarahi, o te tika te ora te pono te kaha me te maramatanga. Ma mātou koe whakamoimiti e whakakroria ki tō ingoa tapu. Āmine. E ihoa whakapaingia e rā kai hei oranga mō mātou tinana ake ake. Āmine. Kia ora tātou. Ara mai ngā pakeke.